Goes the family. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys having a great and exceptional day. So, I wasn't gonna go live tonight, but I said, you know what? You only live once, so why the hell not? Well, not only that, but two thoughts came to mind, and the first thought was, I saw this one creator on TikTok, and he was talking about how people really don't dress up anymore, and I didn't really notice that until after the pandemic. See, growing up in the DMV area, Washington D.C., wearing suits was just a normal thing to see, specifically men wearing suits, women wearing very nice dresses or casual dress suits and whatnot. It was a very normal thing. I noticed before the pandemic, it was kind of a dying thing with most working people. And then when the pandemic happened, meaning the lockdown happened, everybody started working from home. It basically just sealed the deal to where basically most people just business casual, kind of what I have on now, a collar shirt and some casual pants, or even a casual shirt with jeans and whatnot. I remember a former coworker. He said, living in San Antonio because it's so hot, and another former coworker living in South Beach, Florida, in Miami. He's like, the only time they really dress up if it was like a special occasion or somebody was going on a job interview. But outside of that, people really wouldn't dress up because it's so freaking hot. And I'm just like, yeah, I get that. Because I didn't even realize a lot of people don't even dress up to go to funerals or go to church or even go to weddings and things of that nature. And I'm just like, I like dressing up. I don't wear shirt and tie as much as I used to because it's more dress casual and whatnot. I was like, well, what's the point of me being the only person in the office that's wearing a suit and not even a tie and whatnot when everybody else is just dressing like they're about to go to a football game and whatnot. So, but I don't mind dressing up, and I still believe in dressing to impress. Nothing, especially when a female, is nothing more exotic than a woman who can dress very well, not wearing fancy clothes. Because my mindset is, you can make something from a secondhand store look good. It's all on how you look at it, all on how you wear it, all on how you present yourself. Well, there's a lot of women that look like they just rolled out of bed when I walk out in public. I mean, at the gym, it's a different story because that you're there to work out and sweat and not try to look cute and whatnot. But I've seen females at restaurants look like they just rolled out of bed, scratched themselves, and like, all right, cool, let's go get something to eat. So that's why I would say shout out to the women that still care what they look like, still go all out of the way to look presentable and all that good stuff. So before I end this live off, so the next subject matter is that I want to talk about is men. I'm about to be 43 years old. And the main reason why I am talking about this is because not everybody's going to find the true love at the time they want to. And even when they do, sometimes you try to express it to the one that you're in love with, but it doesn't really work out, or they don't really give you the time of day. It is what it is. But I will say to the older men, to the older men, because in the gym today, I heard these two guys talking like they had to be in their late 40s, early 50s, and they're basically talking like they're in their early 20s, talking about how many women that they having sex with, talking about how many women that they talking to, and trying to, the one woman, trying to hit on the female in the gym and all that good stuff. And I guess for me, I'm just like, at that age, I'm not trying to really be doing all that. At this age, I'm not doing all that. But as older a man gets, whether he's in a relationship, married or not, he should be working on his purpose more and focusing on his purpose more than instead of focusing on chasing females. Because that's, lead that game, for the younger guys to do that, and even in today's world, younger men don't really have much time to be hitting on females like that and chasing women because they need to be focused on their purpose and focus on their goals. And the main reason why I say this is because the economic storm is here in the United States of America, regardless of how you want to look at it. Meaning that the idea of having a job could become a luxury. The idea of having a good paying job with good benefits could become a thing of the past. The idea of being the chances of being able to buy a decent car and a house is becoming harder and harder for regular everyday working people. So why would a young man, or specifically an older man, waste a lot of his time, chasing after something that doesn't add any value to him? It just adds a good time for 5 minutes. But to the older men, all I can say is work on trying to have a better purpose in regards to, how do I put this? Outside of your economic purpose and health purpose, because obviously at the gym, I'm talking to these three men that were having these conversations like they were a bunch of frat boys, overgrown frat boys from a fraternity. But I'll say look for Mrs. Right if that's what you truly want. Eventually just going after the meaningless sex and things of that nature can get old. As a good person who's near and dear to me told me, I'm not really, I'm tired of dating. I'm ready to find the right one. And at the end of the day, the right one is who that individual was talking to. But I will leave that alone. But anyways, all I can say is when it comes to a certain time and age where a man has to let certain things go, and stay focused on his purpose and not chasing a bunch of females and staying up all night on these social media apps, trying to holler at being in females' inboxes and things of that nature. Man, I'm sorry, especially when you get to a certain age. To me, for men, it should be like, by the time you get 30, 35, that should just be looked at as a lame thing, whether you got kids, whether you're in a relationship or not. That should just be looked at as like a lame thing. Stay focused, stay purposed, and stay on your grind so that you can get yours, Hold on a second. Freaking allergies are acting up. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's my mindset. It's just like stay focused, stay on your purpose, stay on your grind, and get yours. Okay. But because it always makes me laugh when I see a bunch of posts. I always see it on Facebook, specifically, but it always makes me laugh when the females make, jokes about me. Hey man, stay out of your inbox, stay out of my inboxes. I didn't ask you to come here, etc. and so forth. And then of course, most reasonable men realize that at the end of the day, if a woman's interested in you, she'll let you know. But the fact that I heard he was over listening, usually I don't listen to other people's conversations when I'm in the gym because I usually have my headphones on and I'm trying to block the world out. But the fact that these grown men who are older than me, like I said, late 40s, early 50s, who are talking like they're still in high school / college or just fresh out of college, talking about chasing women and things of that nature, I'm just like, that's got to get old after a while. And I know with all these social media platforms, it makes it so much easier for people to do stuff like that. But I'm just like, that has to get old after a while. And especially to me, like once you hit your 40s, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not going to say it's 100% accurate or whatnot, but once you hit your 40s, not only should one be more established in life financially, mentally, and spiritually, but one should know by that time, hey, who's the real one that you're trying to, and this is for the men and women, who's the real one that's going to help me take my life to the next level, who's the real one that I can actually really focus with and build with and show a lot of love with. That should be known. That's the reason why I got the 112 background video that I downloaded off of TikTok in my background. Because at the end of the day, by this age period, you know who the real one is. And now granted, do I know these men personally? No. And a lot of times people get married and have kids while they're young. So they weren't able to get a lot of the fun out of their system and things of that nature. So I get that 100%. But I think that everybody, when you get to a certain age, you should want more. But then here's another thing. And this could make me sound like a hypocrite. I don't think I am. But shout out Godfrey. I know people like him, the people he roll with, they're not really interested in that lifestyle. And I think that's cool because at least that they're honest about that. But for the most part, but there's not a huge number of men that are in Godfrey's age group that can do what he's doing, number one. But then number two, let's be realistic. Godfrey's a superstar. He's a celebrity. He's not an everyday working person. So the fact that he's a celebrity, he can not only afford this regular lifestyle, I mean, he can afford that lifestyle to just, hop into bed with whomever he wants and whatnot. But he's on the road religiously. He has the money. He has the capital. So it's a different story. These guys that I've seen at the gym for the last 3 years and whatnot, and outside of talking about chasing women and having sex and whatnot, they talk about sports and not talking about growing, advancing in their careers. They live basic, boring lifestyles, and I hear it in their everyday conversations. So that's the big difference. But either way, that's how I look at it in that regards. It's like, hey, stay focused, stay on your purpose. So that way, at the end of the day, when you get older, you don't become worthless. And I really say that to the younger generation of people, but specifically the men. Don't waste your time on people that don't matter. That's if I could, like, when I do my live, and shout out, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. But when I go live on YouTube, on YouTube and Facebook, by the end of this year, there's going to be a lot of people I'm throwing under the bus. There's going to be a lot of people that I'm going to be like, I'm cutting you off. And because a lot of people have shown themselves to me in 2025, and that's why in 2026 I will be talking to less people because I've seen the true colors of a lot of people that I thought that was with me, that was down. And then there's been a lot of disappointments with a lot of people all at the same time. Young men, don't be so dependent on people that you've been riding with for a long time, because a lot of times time means something, and a lot of times in certain instances it doesn't mean a darn thing. But then another thing to take into consideration, family, is that you have to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. But you got to keep riding. You get ride or you get rode on. You better step or you get stepped on. Step into the abyss of what you're trying to get done in this life. Be around people that have good intentions towards you and not just trying to utilize you for the information that they can get from you or the sweat equity or specifically just money at the end of the day. But real talk, find you a real one. Nothing against celebrity men that, hop in and out of bed with a bunch of females. There's nothing wrong with that if that's the lifestyle that you want. But I just say for the real, everyday, regular working man with a plan, find a real one, stick by their sides, and always, always, always be ready to ride. My MM knows what it is on that aspect, but TWC knows what it is, but it is what it is. But yeah, just at the end of the day, family, just remember that. Find the real ones. I mean, heck, you never know. Your boy might be getting married in the next year. You never know. So, and I never thought I would say those words, but hey, we just never know. So we'll see what happens. Things work out the way that they're supposed to, when they're supposed to. So, anyways, that's all I have. To the real ones, find a real one. Stop chasing Instagram women. Stop chasing, TikTok females. They on here for to make some money, and I'm not even mad at it. So, on Facebook, people getting stars, which translates to money. On TikToks, you get presence, which translates to money. On Instagram, you get badges, which translates to money. On YouTube, you get super chats, which translates to money. And I know that there's other social media platforms that can do the same thing, but it's hard enough keeping up with the ones that I just mentioned. So I'll leave it at that. But turn those relations into something transactional, men and women. Don't just fall for the okey doke of a couple of minutes of pleasure in the bedroom. Once you get older, other parts of your life need to go boom, boom, boom. And I'll leave it at that. So anyways, that's all I got. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out the online store. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out WeWillStash, Crypto.com, Coinbase. All those platforms you'll be able to make so many moves. And hope you don't live broke like a fool. But do the good three things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a good day. Make money moves so you can live broke like a fool. Say in Spanish. Bienvenido a la vida. Welcome to the life. Happy Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. The weekend's here. So have some beer, have some cheer, and don't end the day with tears and fears. I'm out.